Inspiration 1390 on a Thursday.
It's a wonderful Thursday morning. It's 16 degrees right now in Chicago.
Earlier, we talked on our show about a 15-year-old in Bolingbrook,
Kenyatta Parker,
who took her life because she was being bullied at school, on Facebook, on Twitter, texting, all of it was coming at her. And she wrote her mom a 12-page letter, and her mom found her hanging in the garage. So we have a Dr. Bober on the line. How are you, doctor?
Good. How are you this morning?
We're good. We wanted to talk to you because we wanted you to give us some signs that a parent can know that their child is going through something.
Well, you know, one of the biggest problems that I see with parents and children is that there's no open line of communication.
Right.
They need to take that computer out of the bedroom and put it in a common area so parents know what their kids are doing. Because a lot of times kids will retreat to the bedroom and there's a whole other world there on the internet, and it's like a dirt road without a sheriff. It's not really regulated. So parents really have to keep an eye on what sites their kids are on and what they're doing and who they're communicating with, because if you turn a blind eye to it, you know, something like this can happen, and it can happen right under your nose.
Right. So isolation could be a sign that something's going wrong with your child?
Isolation could be a sign, changes in their appetite, changes in their sleep, if they're acting out more, if they're more irritable. A lot of times depression, for example, in kids this age will present differently than adults, whereas an adult tends to verbalize their feelings and say that they're more sad. Kids will very often be irritable or apathetic, and you'll say, you know, what's wrong? Oh, nothing's wrong, whatever, I don't care. So apathy and irritability is really a sign that something more deeper is going on.
So how would you say you would start a conversation with your child? How do you open that line of communication? What should you do first?
Well, I think just being open and honest, saying, you know, listen, you know, I noticed that, you know, you haven't been coming to the table for dinner. I noticed that, you know, you don't want to talk. You're having trouble getting out of bed, and can you tell me what's going on? And I think that you have to lay down a foundation to have that communication. If you're, you know, a parent who is working all the time and you're not really seeing your children or talking to your children, obviously it's going to be harder to break the ice on that conversation. So I think part of good parenting is communication.
And spending time.
It's so amazing. And we're talking about teenagers. I got an email today from a parent who woke up this morning and her 7-year-old son had wrote a letter saying, I wish I were dead.
Oh, no.
At the age of 7. So, but the doctor is so right that you have to open up this line of communication because you never know what they're dealing with.
It's 7.
Right.
It's 7.
7.
You know, and at 7 years old, you know, there's many different interpretations to that. You know, obviously, if a 37-year-old wrote that, I wish I were dead, you know, we as a society tend to take that a little bit differently because a 7-year-old, you know, they don't really have the same appreciation of the finality of death when they write something like that.
Right.
So whether that's an attention-seeking a stunt or whether that's serious, you know, obviously it has to be taken seriously and explored further. But a lot of times, you know, at that age, it is a cry for help and it has to be, you know, addressed.
Wow. Okay. Well, we appreciate you so much for helping us deal with this issue. We wanted to make sure that we get our parents as much information as we can.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much.
Dr. Bober.
My pleasure. Have a great day.
You too.
Take care. Bye-bye.
1390.